This is Tipton bench pressing. Power! It's what everyone's been asking to see.
He's starting to get good at it. It's time to take him out of the simulator.
Hi, I'm Saunders CB and welcome to Silverstone. I'm here at the HQ of the Neo 333 Formula E racing team, and my objective today is to learn all about race preparation. What it takes to get both team and drivers fit and ready for the intensity of a Formula E race weekend. So, time to find out. So we're inside the underbelly of the Neo 333 Formula E operation, and something crucial is happening right now as we speak, because driver Sergio Settecamera is in the simulator right now. The simulator being one of the most important, if not the most important aspect of Formula E race prep. And the team have kindly given us a very exclusive sneak peek and look as to what goes on. Let's take a look. Hello mate, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just been kind of watching from the other side of the screen about your sim session. So talk to me a little bit about what a simulator day looks like for you. What sort of things are you simulating, are you testing?
Typically, we'll dedicate 1 or 2 days in the simulator before each race, on the week before each race.
Okay.
So for example, we're here preparing Berlin. Next week we have Berlin race. And the same process repeats for every round.
So during those sessions, obviously you're learning a bunch of things. If it's a new track, I guess you're becoming more familiar with the track, but it's all about the data, right? It's about energy management and running different strategies. How does that work with a simulator? How do you prepare different strategies?
So we gotta improvise. The engineers will choose a certain time and moment to bring out a safety car, and sometimes we will simulate an overtake as well. We can change grip, weather conditions, we can change if the walls are solid or if they are transparent, if you can run through them. We can change the track aggressiveness of the bumps, setup. But all of that is done so that we run into the same problems that we would run if the car was real. So everything is done with that intention.
Interesting. So with strategy in mind, how much more important are simulator days in Formula E than other motorsports?
Formula E, there's a lot more going on operationally in terms of codes you got to give back to the engineer, strategy, attack mode. So if you don't practice that in the simulator, you will go to reality and most likely commit a mistake or something will go wrong, most certainly. So there is an extra value, certainly.
That's so cool. Now my final question is, while I'm here, could I please have a go?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, come on. Oi. Wow, I tell you what, I have a new respect for you guys, right? I need to turn this car on.
So what the driver does is, you see you're going on throttle, then some lights will start to appear. When it gets green, it means you need to lift. So that's how we don't overconsume during the race. You know, we have assistance from the car.
And you have that inside the car as well with the lights and everything?
Exactly how you have it now.
Wow. Wow, that's so, I've never had the chance to do that before.
Yeah, you see it beeps on your ears. It tells you when to lift it.
That's so interesting. It's it's a whole nother side. So you've got that in your ears constantly in a race.
Yeah, just like you have it now. It's the same.
This is really interesting to get an idea of not just driving the car and you know, reacting to the way it is on certain circuits, maybe the surface or the tires or anything like that. It's the beeping, the energy management side. There's just so much to think about. Even now, playing what is essentially a video game, there is so much to be running through, and you're doing a full session. It's a tiring day of work, I can imagine.
He's starting to get good at it. It's time to take him out of the simulator. Come on.
There we go, full power, 350 across the line. Wow. What an experience. I honestly didn't think there'd be that much difference between Gen 2 and Gen 3.
It's a big,
How wrong I was.
It's a big difference.
Wow. I mean, thanks for that, Sergio. That was awesome.
No worries.
What do we need to do?
You were starting to scare me towards the end there, getting too comfortable in the car. The team is looking, so says, better jump off. Better jump off.
So I'm here with Dan, who's Sergio's race engineer. Now, Dan, I'm looking at the screen and it looks like I'm looking at code from the Matrix, but this is all very important data. So can you give me just a little understanding of what we're looking at here?
So the blue trace at the bottom here is throttle and brake here. So those are the main inputs here. And then you've got the steering angle here in the middle. And then the red trace is vehicle speed. In a sim session, you know, we're just trying to tick all the boxes, make sure that we've got everything covered, trying to make sure that we anticipate anything that might come. And then when it comes to being at the race, it's executing those things that you practiced.
Great lapping coming from Sergio's ending camera.
I think preparation in any motorsports is the key, but I think particularly in Formula E, because of the nature of the series, you have very short practice sessions, and it's not only the qualifying and push lap performance, you've got the energy management aspect in the race. So I think the higher level of preparation that you can have and the better the driver can turn up prepared, the effect on your end result is massive.
In Formula E, one of the issues that we're having is that you get to the track and on the same day you've got two very short practice sessions before qualifying in the race. So all that preparation that we are doing in the driver in the loop simulator is absolutely crucial to both for the drivers, but mainly for us to test our software, test out the different scenarios, test the strategies that we've got, and make sure that the whole operational side is absolutely as perfect as we can really before going to track.
So I have been doing Formula E for quite a few years, and I'll be honest, I like to think that there isn't much I don't know about the championship, but I've been surprised by today. That simulator session has shown me that there is quite a lot that I haven't comprehended before now. I mean, just looking mentally, the amount that the driver and teams have to do within a session, all the sessions they run through, you know, hitting the energy targets, braking zones, apexes, talking back to the team, all of that work that goes into place here before you even think about what that's like in a race environment on a real life circuit with 21 other cars to contend with, it is incredibly impressive. And I have to say also the physical side of it as well. I only spent 30 minutes or so in the hot seat and I can feel it in my forearms, you know, having to throw that wheel around. No power steering, remember, in Formula E. And that is an aspect I would like to know more about, the physical side of race preparation. And thankfully, we have someone who can tell us just about that. A man that is no stranger to the gym or afraid to hide it, Mr. Dan Tickton.
I'm currently joined by the most shredded man in all of Sao Paulo, Dan Tickton, right now. You seldom get to see this, by the way.
So we've come down to iZone, which is a performance centre for young and aspiring racing drivers to come and learn the craft, get strong, get fit, get mentally prepared for racing driving. Dan is having a session in there right now, and he said I can join him. Let's see what he's up to. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hello, mate. Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Yeah, well, good. Thanks for letting me join your session.
No worries.
So,
arguably my second home.
love to hear it. So I'm on a bit of a quest, mate.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm trying to learn what it takes to prepare for a Formula E race.
Yeah.
You know, we've done the sim, we've understood that side of it.
Yeah.
But the physical side of it is just as important, right, for racing in general.
Definitely. I would say it's very easy to overcomplicate things. The gym that I train at is just it's a CrossFit gym, big gym down near where I live. And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of drivers overcomplicate training.
All right, let's go through this first exercise then.
Do you want a bench?
Do I want to bench? Do I want to bench this weight?
So I'd say for Formula E this year, the steering is significantly heavier. A lot of the drivers, when we arrived at Mexico, we were all like, God, this is going to be a problem. Like Sergio, for example, my teammates had to reduce like the caster on the car, which makes the steering lighter.
Okay.
Okay, there's a benefit to being slightly stronger maybe. You can run with more caster, which can help how the car performs in certain tracks. So there's a good example.
Okay.
But I mean, I think as a general thing, I'm potentially like, maybe a bit strong. Like I don't need to be able to bench 90 kilos to drive a race car. It's just a mental thing of knowing that you're stronger and fitter than other drivers.
Okay, interesting.
So, you know, I might only need to be 75% of the strength, say across the board as an average, but knowing that I'm stronger, it's a nice way to just turn up to the paddock and know that you're strong and fit.
So this is exclusive Formula E content, guys. This is Tickton bench pressing. It's what everyone's been asking to see. Look at that with ease. So the bench press is more of a general exercise, right? It's physical, it's overall strength. Is there anything you can show me that's a little bit more specific or niche to motorsport?
There is one exercise that I like to do, which I feel like a lot of drivers and driver trainers forget. So I can show you that now.
Yeah, let's do it. Right, so what do we have here?
So obviously just a normal bench. So one of the main exercises that I like to do, I can just probably sit down, it's easier. So when obviously you're in the car, you're sat like this, normally you have knee padding, which sort of half stops your legs from moving around. In the higher G cars, you know, like let's say Formula 1 as an example, this would be even more important, but now with the higher power of Gen 3, like a lot of people forget about like leg bracing. So I do a thing called, I believe it's called an abductor plank. I hope I've got that right, otherwise my trainer will give me a slap. But basically, it's more for bracing. So you have one leg up here. The further away, the harder it is. And I normally go just above the knee. And you have to like just hold like this.
It's like an intense side plank.
Yeah, basically. And you try and keep obviously everything as straight as possible. You get a huge burn in here after about 15 seconds.
Really?
So,
can you just explain in the seating position?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna give me an example of why that's relevant. You said about the bracing.
Well,
but is that because your legs are moving?
Look, if your legs are moving, it's not the end of the world. But for me, if I know that everything's just, how can I say it, like, not more consistent, but I don't know, it's
like
just
together,
better for
like
control.
rigid.
Yeah, exactly, just better for control overall. Last corner at Mexico is a good example. You know, really long, high sustained G.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got the leg padding, but that's mainly for this side. When this leg's wanting to come over, like you don't have as much support and it can actually like come over and hit your other leg. When you're on the throttle, it can be all a bit weird.
So while I'm doing this, can you tell me why core strength might be important?
Core strength, it is essentially bracing for the whole of the body. Pretty much every movement you do, let alone, you know, in a car, is coming from the trunk, as people like to call it, in some way, shape or form. And having just a very, very good base there for bracing and just overall strength, it just aids every other movement, you could argue. So,
is there an argument to say that in the car where you're sitting down, you haven't really got gravity helping you with anything, so that core strength is where almost all your power comes from?
Yeah, definitely. The steering's much heavier this year, and this might sound stupid, but we're always using quite a lot of lock, and people are going to say, oh, that's arms, but like we actually move quite a lot in the car compared to some other cars. Like in Formula 1, like you wouldn't move as much, let's say, from let's say around the torso. So yeah, you enjoying that, mate?
That's interesting. I'm curious to know how long I've been doing it for. It feels like 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
I've kind of got the challenge now. I need someone to tell me the actual time. Anyone know?
I
Is anyone timing this?
I'm not a very good personal trainer, as it turns out.
All right, well
that'll do. No, that's pretty good though. That was good, mate.
Okay, here's a question. If you had to isolate the three most important areas physically to prepare you for motorsport and Formula E in particular,
most important areas.
Where would you target? So arms and shoulders, core, legs?
Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, so the overall bracing, which comes from the core and a lot of the stuff we've spoken about, definitely helps keep everything in control. Depends on Formula E, neck, not so important because we don't pull massive Gs, but just overall shoulder strength is important. And I wouldn't say there's anything that particular. It is just a general strength and shoulders and traps.
So there's something that I've heard about, and I know when I say heard, I'm talking about team radio or post-race.
Yeah.
People saying like how physically draining places like the London circuit can be.
Yeah, I remember turn 4 and 5 last year on like the concrete. I was literally having to turn the wheel as hard as I could.
Really?
Like I was going into the right-hander, which is turn 5, I think, and having to put my hand on top of the wheel to go that because it rubbered up so much, and all the drivers were saying the same. And I was like, I'm quite strong, so I know if I'm struggling, I know other people are as well.
Well,
So,
I remember at the end of a London race, Jake Dennis saying that it was the most exhausted he'd ever felt after getting out of a car. So, but what I'm curious is that
it's just arms and shoulders that was particularly because it was a lot of movement like this, forearms, shoulders, not necessarily as much of the, you know, it wasn't very high G, it's just a lot of arm movement, to be honest.
So whereas you don't get
huge amounts of concentration because it's such an intense circuit.
Sure, okay.
So obviously that's where your cardio comes in. I normally do at least a couple of cardio sessions a week, and the brain's just better at processing stuff, and obviously you know you're better at using oxygen, so you can just concentrate better. So.
And is that general cardio, or
just general cardio? Yeah. So I mean I use ski ergs quite a lot. And rowing and bike. I don't do a lot of running, which I think I'm going to start doing.
Okay.
Just because you know it can be a good thing to do. But the ski erg's really good because it's also good for shoulders, triceps. Okay. So you're sort of conditioning the parts of the body that I've explained already important, and you're also doing cardio. So yeah.
Okay, so this is obviously a standard reaction Batak sort of machine.
Yep.
I'm going to set the benchmark.
Oh,
Okay, just because then it's less embarrassing for me when you smash it by 100
Yeah,
points.
well, you know, you never know. This doesn't necessarily mean you're a good driver if you can get a high number on here, yeah.
I like it. Okay, right, so let's just do this one, a simple 1 minute of this.
Yep,
Here we go.
Okay, sir.
lovely.
You
Pass
have 1
fingers.
minute.
Hit the red one.
It's great.
Oh, where is it? Where is it?
3, 2, 1.
See, so I know what racing drivers are like now, and the competitive element is going to fuel this big time. I'm instantly seeing that you're not even looking, you're using your periphery more. That's, okay, that's... Oh, he's flying through the points here. He's made a mockery of me.
Not really, mate.
What, I can't remember what I got.
73.
73, you're
Yeah,
always
but like-
10 more than me. That's almost 10, that's... Yeah, I expected to lose. And I think as soon as it became a competition, I know how you guys are wired. So obviously not everybody has one of these in their gym or their home or can take them around to racetracks. So what other things can people be doing for reactions?
So, pretty cliche, but it does work. Tennis balls, a lot of people use those reaction balls, like the little knobbly things that bounce on the floor and go all over. They're useful as well. I used to use a little one of those. And the other one is, which you've seen Gasly do a lot, where his trainer holds the balls. Yeah, like, mate, it's so hard. It is hard. It is
Can we go a bit higher?
Yeah,
Here we
okay. Give you a bit more.
I just want one catch. That's all I want from this.
Nearly. So when I was like properly on it and I'd had a few espressos, I could catch everyone. Like,
He's gone for the double. That's good though. I've
mate,
seen
but
people
that
doing
is hard. Yeah.
It is it's a lot harder than it looks. So
It is.
So respect to Gasly, and I see Max Gunter do that a bit actually behind the garage as well.
Yeah.
Love that. But in terms of what you're learning from that or what you're strengthening, it's the same
It's
as
just
that.
it's just a cognitive wake up.
Yeah. But is that good to do just before you get in the car?
Yeah, I would do it just before I'm getting ready. Sometimes there can be an hour before actually racing. But again, a lot of a driver's warm-up routine is placebo, or superstition, that, right, I've done that, that works for me. I would only do a physical warm-up if I'm actually just cold. I may do a couple of stretches, but if it's really hot outside, I don't want my heart rate going up as much at all as I possibly can. Keep it as low as possible and keep it as cool as possible.
See, I knew there was a good reason to do this with you, because you get the truth, you get real answers.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
So there we go. I think it's very safe to say that there was a lot about Formula E race prep that we hadn't potentially thought of beforehand. So we had some great and very honest insight from both team and drivers from Neo, Sergio City Camera and Dan Ticktum. All that leaves us to say is thanks for watching, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you soon.